I am a graphic designer, and as I began stepping into the field of illustration, I ran into my biggest problem. I couldn't find a style that truly belonged to me. These are some of my previous works. As you can see, the styles are highly diverse. In advertising or graphic design, this may not necessarily be a bad thing. To some extent, it shows that you have the ability to adapt to and interpret a wide range of client needs. However, in illustration, this isn't necessarily an advantage. In many ways, illustration reflects the illustrator as a person. Works that allow viewers to instantly recognize the artist often have stronger market value. In other words, in the field of illustration, recognizability may matter far more than versatility. At least in the beginning, helping people know who you are is likely more important than showing how many different styles you can draw. After experimenting aimlessly with countless styles and taking many illustration courses without achieving the results I hoped for, I decided to explore and search for my own style in a different way. Therefore, I will document my process of creating works based on various themes to see if I can identify patterns and gradually discover the style that suits me best. I'm not sure whether this process will be helpful to others, but I hope that by sharing it, creators who are struggling to find their own style or experiencing creative blocks like I am may at least feel a sense of companionship and comfort. Without further ado, let's begin. To start, I will attempt something relatively simple, the drawing posters for film I like. The movie I chose is Peppermint Soda from 1977. It's a French film made almost half a century ago, yet its aesthetic style still feels remarkably fashionable to me. Part of the film's story is based on the director's childhood experiences, making it somewhat autobiographical. It portrays the lives of several girls aged 12 to 15 in France in 1963. Since the poster requires characters, I chose to draw the four main girls. When designing or drawing characters, it's usually important to differentiate them so they're easy to recognize, often through facial features, expressions, body types, and clothing. However, since the girls I chose are nearly the same age and have similar body types, I decided to focus on expressions and facial features to create distinctions. First, let's analyze the face shapes of the four main characters. Starting with the sisters, the younger one has a typical oval face, while the older sister's face is relatively wider and can be categorized as square. Then there is the younger sister's friend Martine, whose face is roughly an inverted triangle, and another friend whose face is more rounded, fitting into a circular shape. Next, I began sketching the faces, paying attention to facial features and hairstyles to differentiate the characters. The younger sister is characterized by her large eyes and long straight hair, often wearing a white headband in the film. The older sister has more angular facial features and medium-length hair. Next is Martine, the younger sister's friend, who has dark curly hair, a lively personality, and a slightly rounder nose tip. The last one, also a friend of the younger sister, often wears her hair in braids, has smaller eyes, and a more childlike appearance compared to the others. During the drawing process, multiple versions may emerge, and I usually keep them for later selection. Next is the clothing design. As mentioned earlier, I really love the film's aesthetic, mainly because the girls' outfits are beautiful. So I started by sketching several outfits to see if they could inspire my poster. I began with the classic school outfits. They usually wear beige coats embroidered with their names. Then I also drew several casual outfits. The original film has 3 poster designs, all quite classic. I will partially reference them and create versions in different styles. I started by creating 4 sketches. The first focuses on the classic school outfits, showing the relationships between the girls. For the second piece, I wanted to follow the composition of this poster, but approach it in a more metaphorical way. Since the protagonist never actually drinks the mint soda in the story, I replaced her at the center with a hand as if holding the soda, highlighting the black onyx ring she always wears on her right hand. The third references a film still and the older sister's pose from the poster. The fourth aims to convey a lively atmosphere with a background that blends soda bubbles and falling meteors, giving the impression that the girls are jumping into the bubbles. After comparing the 4 sketches, I felt the third composition was somewhat dull, so I chose to proceed with the other 3. First is the final version of the first design. The clothing colors were taken directly from the earlier office sketches. A quick note, the candy the protagonist is eating comes from this scene in the film. After finishing, I decided to create another version that includes a mint soda. However, since the soda in the film is just a plain transparent green liquid without any decoration, I chose to use a cuter ice cream soda I had drawn before, and it actually turns out pretty good. Next is the final version of the second piece. Although I initially drew only the protagonist's hand to suggest that she never gets to drink the mint soda in the film, I later decided to include the mint soda after all. I see the mint soda as a symbol of her desire to grow up quickly while not yet being ready. In the end, she will grow up and someday be able to drink whatever she wants. So the mint soda here carries a dual sense of absence and fulfillment. Then comes the third final version. For this one, I wanted a different style from the previous 2, so I turned the characters into manga style. However, something still felt a bit plain overall. Since the characters themselves are already colorful, I suspected the issue lay in the background. While considering whether to change the background approach, I happened to come across this book. Its cover features meteors similar to my bubble meteors, yet it doesn't look plain. Why is that? I think it's because the meteors vary in size and depth. I decided to apply this to my background, keeping the same meteor shapes but varying their size and layering. I also slightly enlarged the characters to focus the composition. It looks much better now. That concludes this edition of my thought experiment. It turns out my favorite is the second poster. But that doesn't mean the other 2 were a waste. At least the process was enjoyable. If you've made it this far, feel free to tell me which poster you like the most. I'll continue experimenting with other themes in the future. Until next time, live long and prosper.